Hi everyone, this video will provide you with a short overview of the topic chocolate and mood, and specifically whether chocolate can cause us to feel happy. We will discuss chocolate, theories of happiness, and what is in chocolate that can affect mood, as well as some studies that prove and disprove that it can make us actually feel happy. So, chocolate. Chocolate is a product that is made from cocoa beans, which is a fruit that comes from a specific type of tree that is native to tropical regions of the Americas. As well as cocoa beans, there are a number of other components in chocolate such as carbohydrates, fat, sugar and flavonols, which have the potential to alter mood. Before we go into the physiological processes that occur between chocolate consumption and consequential mood change, it is important to define what happiness is before we can say that chocolate can cause it. There are three main theories of happiness discussed in the chapter, but the hedonism theory of happiness is one of the best known theories. It essentially refers to the subjective and conscious experience of positive feelings and pleasure for an individual. A description of the other two are provided in the text in this video. So now we know what happiness can be defined as, how could chocolate cause a change in this? Studies and research have identified how carbohydrates, flavonols and the reward of eating chocolate have an impact on mood. So we will now discuss the physiological basis to these. Let's start with carbohydrates and serotonin. Serotonin, a type of neurotransmitter, has been found to be implicated in mood after deficiencies in serotonin were correlated with the development of depressive disorders. This relationship is explained by the chemical imbalance theory, which suggests that such mood disorders result from chemical imbalances, and thus why low serotonin is related to low mood. In terms of chocolate having an impact on serotonin, it is not the chocolate but the carbohydrates in chocolate that change serotonin levels. It does so because we consume an amino acid called tryptophan at the same time. Tryptophan is required to synthesize serotonin, so when we have more tryptophan, we have the potential for more serotonin and therefore a more positive mood as according to the chemical imbalance theory and hedonic measurements. Essentially, if chocolate can increase serotonin levels, it can also increase the occurrences of positive affect. Next, research has found that chocolate has an influence on the dopamine pathways in the brain. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter which is also involved in mood, with research indicating that low dopamine is associated with depression and high dopamine associated with elevated mood. Though the components of chocolate do not have a direct biological impact on dopamine, chocolate can still impact dopamine through the reward system in the brain. Particular parts of the brain involved in this system, such as the nucleus accumbens, expect and respond to reward, such as when we eat chocolate. The activation of these structures leads to an increase in dopamine release when we experience a chocolate consumption as a positive experience. This experience of reward in chocolate follows the desire theory of happiness in that we must view chocolate as something we want, otherwise it will be interpreted as a negative experience and not make us happy. Finally, the last way in which chocolate has an influence on mood that we will discuss is that of the relationship between flavonols and mood. Flavonols are an essential compound for human life that comes from plants that we eat, including cocoa products, meaning they are also in chocolate. Once these have been digested, the flavonols have been found to bind to GABAA receptors, which is where adenosine and benzodiazepines often bind to. And just like benzodiazepines, flavonols, once bound with these receptors, produce a calming effect and a reduction of anxiety for the individual, thus improving the emotional state. So, now that we have a pretty good understanding of a few ways that chocolate can biologically impact our mood, what do the studies that aim to determine whether chocolate can make us feel happy have to say? Numerous studies have found that chocolate certainly does have the potential to induce feelings of positive mood and to cause us to feel happy. It's been found that chocolate consumption can cause feelings of happiness, but only for a short period of time, with Mark and Mueller's 2007 study finding that good feelings associated with chocolate were gone after 3 minutes. Additionally, the more chocolate we eat, the happier we feel. Despite the numerous studies that suggest chocolate can make us happy, there are others that say that it can't. In one study by Mark and Detmer in 2006, researchers found that if participants didn't experience a positive mood, then they felt guilty instead, probably because of the negative cognitions toward chocolate. Another study found that most of their participants actually felt less happy after they ate chocolate, totally challenging the previously discussed studies. In this video, we have talked about how chocolate can impact our mood and make us feel happy. and seen support and opposing arguments for such an occurrence. Thank you very much for listening.